Hey everyone, Eric here, and from the title of this video, DC House of Horror, you might think I'm going to be talking about politics, but I'm not. This is comic books. It's not a review, it is a call to arms. In October, DC Comics will be publishing DC House of Horror, a one-shot anthology series. I don't know how well you can see that. This is the previews catalog I've got here. There's the page for this DC House of Horror. If you want to see a better a better shot of that picture, just go back to the image at the beginning of this video. So this book comes out in October, and according to the authors of this book, and I'll get to them in just a second, pre-ordering this is very important, which is why I wanted to talk about it. So what you have here, as I said, it's an anthology book, 80 pages, and the writers, this is an incredible lineup of horror writers. Just reading off the previews page, you've got Edward Lee, the king of hardcore horror. Brian Keene, one of my top 5 favorite all-time authors. I absolutely love that guy. Nick Cutter is the only author on this list that I'm not really familiar with. I may have read something of his in an anthology or something, but I couldn't even tell you that for sure. But Nick Cutter, he's in here. If he's as good as the rest of the people in this lineup, then I'm going to have to start reading his stuff. Mary Sangiovanni, she's a fantastic author. Rath James White, one of my favorites. If Edward Lee is the king of hardcore horror, then Rath James White is the Duke, maybe? I don't know, he's up there. Fantastic. Ronald Malfi, another favorite. For those who watch my book reviews, the past 3 years I've reviewed Malfi's newest books, and they've been absolutely amazing. Excuse me. Weston Oakes, another great writer, and I'm actually going to have a review of his latest book, although it's a little late, but that's going to be coming up very soon. And finally, Brian Smith, just another author that I absolutely love. So all of these authors writing different DC Universe horror stories. And as far as art goes, you've got people like Rags Morales, a favorite. I'm just gushing about all these people. I love Rags Morales. Been a fan since he was on Black Condor. Howard Porter, Scott Collins, another favorite of mine when he was on The Flash. I absolutely loved his work. And then others. And that's what it says here in the previews. And others. And as Brian Keene puts it, riding herd over all of this is Keith Giffen. A fantastic writer and artist in his own right. His run on Justice League International was amazing. His work on Ambush Bug, he's done all sorts of great stuff. So, all these writers, all these artists, horror set in the DC universe. Just to give you a little taste, this is what it says in the previews. Martha Kent fights for her life against a creature from a spacecraft that lands in front of her farmhouse. A young woman is possessed by the spirit of a murderous Amazon warrior. The last surviving member of the Justice League faces down a horror beyond imagining. All that and more is what that says. And then I have on my phone, I have Brian Keene's website. Excuse me, and he says, right off the bat, have you ever wondered what a Brian Keene Justice League or John Constantine comic might be like? Or perhaps, I wonder what Edward Lee would do with Superman. Or maybe, I bet Mary Sangiovanni could rock the house on Wonder Woman. Or, Nick Cutter on Batman. Wouldn't that be nuts? So just a little idea of who's doing what. Somewhere someone posted a list of what each author was doing, but I wasn't able to find that again. Or I would tell you. I do know Rath James White did a Two-Face story, and I believe Brian Keene and Brian Smith worked together on a Suicide Squad story. I think. Don't take my word for that one. So, the reason I'm talking about this, the reason I'm gushing, I can't wait for this, is all of these authors, as they've been promoting it, have talked about how important pre-sales are. So I wanted to get this video out there, encourage people to pre-order this book. And again, on Brian Keene's website, he says, DC editorial have told us that if the book sells well enough, this will become a regular monthly thing, which would be incredible. So, pre-order, pre-order, pre-order. Go to your local comic shop. Go online and find them. Call them up. Pre-order. Let's see. There is an order code, and I'll put it up here. It's AUG, August, AUG 170272. I'll have it up here. You don't have to remember that. So you can give that to you can just, when you contact somebody, just ask for DC House of Horrors or give them that order code. I'm going to put links in the description below. I'll have a link for Brian Keene's website so you can look at the stuff that he has on there about this. I'm going to put a link, I think, if I can, for Midtown Comics, because you're going to order online from them. I'll have that order code in the comments below so you can just look at it instead of trying to remember what I was saying. But please, please pre-order this. I am very excited for it. I would love to see this become a monthly thing. You've got amazing horror authors writing some stories in what right now, as far as comic books go, is the better universe. I've been a lifelong Marvel zombie, but right now, since Rebirth, DC, frankly, I think is kicking Marvel's ass as far as the comic books go. So, and just so you know, according to the previews, it is a $10 cover price for this comic, but I think it's going to be worth it, man. That lineup, great writers, great artists. I think it's going to be great horror. I want to see what these people do with the characters that I know and love. I mean, if you look at that picture again at the beginning of this video, there's some kind of twisted looking stuff in there. So yeah, I mean, I can't review it because I haven't read it. All I can do is talk about how wonderful these artists are, or the writers are. Some of the artists, I don't know every artist that's going to be in this book. Just an amazing lineup of talent. Please pre-order this book if you're a horror fan, if you're a comic book fan. Let's support these folks, and I think it would be amazing to have a monthly horror comic from DC. There are some amazing horror comic book. I'm really using that word a lot. It's amazing how much I'm using that word. But there are some great horror comics out there from other independent publishers. Afterlife with Archie is actually pretty great. And the Sabrina book, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, that's not what it's called. I can't remember the exact title, but it's from Archie Comics. But there's a horror Sabrina book that's fantastic. And actually there's should be like a Jughead Werewolf book coming out. Harrow County, however you pronounce it. Just all sorts of good horror out there. But I love to see sort of this mixed genre thing where you've got the DC heroes and horror. So I'm trying to see where my time is on this video. I don't want to get too long, especially since I'm just gushing and gushing. But I can't emphasize this enough. Get out there, pre-order this book if you can. I've known about this because I follow most of these authors, and they've been hinting about this for a long time, so I've been waiting with bated breath. As soon as this previews hit the stands and I placed my order for this. I'm a little bit excited. So anyway, that's it. DC House of Horror #1 comes out October 25th. I'll have all the information you need in the description below. Please, if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Normally I say comments are open for spoilers, but since this is something that doesn't actually exist yet, really can't spoil it, can we? But we can talk about it. And please like, share, and subscribe. Check out my review videos and the other crap that I do. And I guess that's it for this just quickie little video. So I'm Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.